Love bombs, weapons of emotional destruction.
The Narc Ninja, bringing you the tools and tactics to heal and deal with users and abusers. And now the Narc Ninja himself, Christopher Fairchild.
Hi, and welcome to the Narc Ninja channel, or welcome back, bringing you tried and true, tested and approved tools and tactics to deal and heal from narcissistic abuse. We are continuing today on the new playlist of defining some commonly used terms in our healing community. Today I'm talking about something called love bombing, also referred to as the idealization phase of seduction. Love bombing is a narcissist's manipulative tactic used to seduce, attract, and enthrall you into being their source of narcissistic supply. A manipulator or cluster B personality disordered person might tell you that they feel a very special connection with you and that only they can really understand you. Or one I've had used on me a few times is, "You're like family to me." This is where you need to make the distinction between an honest and earned compliment versus unwarranted flattery. And this can be a bit tricky sometimes because the narc can be so charming. It may not even be obvious enough to maybe put into words. It may just sort of be an uneasy feeling. This is where you really need to be learning to trust your instincts, and that becomes so very crucial. Trust your gut. If it feels a little icky or just off, your instincts might be ahead of your intellect. So don't ignore any of those sorts of feelings. Although it can feel really great to be put on a pedestal, just know that to the narc, there is no healthy middle ground. You are either the best thing or you're basically worthless and unlovable. In fact, this is how they see themselves. There is no healthy and lovable but flawed self. They themselves are either propped up into a place beyond reproach or entirely worthless and unlovable. This is exactly why you'll almost never hear a narc apologize. They just simply can't afford it. I also want you to know that love bombing is so very dangerous, as it is usually the first step in the circle of abuse. And this is the circle that keeps many people in abusive relationships for years, even lifetimes. And it all starts with love bombing, also called the seduction phase. Often coupled with love bombing is something called mirroring. And this is where they start mirroring your likes, your dislikes, even your gestures and your phrases and your expressions. It's all part of luring you in as their target. They have already evaluated you, by the way, and your potential to become some form of narcissistic supply. Next up is the devaluing phase, which then leads to the abuse and then eventually the discard. Then once the target has cooled off, it can all begin again with re-seducing or love bombing. It can also start all over again. Love bombing in this phase is also a term called hoovering, named after the vacuum cleaner, because what they're really trying to do is suck you back into their lair for more abuse cycles. I had a best friend when I was a kid named John, and I remember my mom, who was a very wise woman, once sat me down and she said, "Hey, sweetie, have you ever noticed that your friend John really hurts your feelings about every 6 months?" What she was noticing was a classic narcissistic abuse cycle. If you are an extra caring and loving person with many talents and gifts who has soft boundaries, then you really need to be on the lookout because you are a perfect target for a manipulator. I wish I could tell you how many times I've experienced the crash, the discard phase, after being deemed no longer useful, the devaluing phase. I want you to always remember, just because they want you doesn't mean they care about you one bit. You may just be looking to them like a tasty morsel to this highly narcissistic person. Have I missed anything, or do you have something that you would like to share with all of us? Let me know in the comments below if anything comes to mind, or if you have any questions. I hope this was helpful. If so, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and like and do all of that good stuff. It helps me grow this channel so that more people can see these videos. And thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. And until we meet again, be you to the full, beautiful. Namaste.